Welcome to our lesson about animating your cameras. We're going to pick up where we left off in our previous lesson. Let's open the animation timeline. And now let's create a camera view. I'll right-click on the Cameras node and select Create Camera from View. Now from the Animate panel, let's click on Camera. The Animate Camera dialog window opens. Camera 1 is already pre-selected here. For a path, we'll use a smooth option. And let's click on Definition. Roll angle, 15 degrees, let's say. And zoom position, let's use a factor of about 10. And let's click OK to exit the camera definition window. Now let's set the duration, 8 seconds. And click OK. Let's expand the animation timeline window now. And here's our new camera. From the View drop-down menu, let's select Camera 1. And now let's view our animation by dragging the slider. Okay, let's delete this. Right-click and select Delete. And from the Animate panel, let's activate the Camera tool again. This time, let's go to the Turntable tab. Activate the turntable by checking here. Axis, let's select the Y-axis. Next, we set the turn direction. It can be counterclockwise or clockwise. Number of revolutions, let's set it to 1. Now, when the plus-minus option is selected, that means we're going to have the number of revolutions we specified here during the entire duration of the animation, and that we set down here in this section. In this case, we're going to have 1 revolution during 30 seconds, since that's the duration that we specified down here. If I select the per minute option, then we get 1 revolution per minute. With our duration of 30 seconds, we'll have half a revolution. If I select the per second option, we'll get 1 revolution per second. And in this case, we'd have a lot of revolutions, 30 revolutions. Let's work with the plus-minus option. Time duration will make it 8 seconds. And let's also use the Specify option instead of Loop. We're ready to click OK. Camera 1 is pre-selected here. We can preview our animation by dragging the slider. And as we see, the table rotates once during the 8-second period. Now let me change the timeline a little bit. Scroll back to the beginning of the timeline and adjust the bar here. Our first 3 seconds will show the movement of the cap, and then the turntable effect will kick in. Let's render the animation. Click the little red Record button. Camera 1, that's pre-selected for us. The Output tab, Preview No Render is checked. And let's opt to save it. We're going to save it in the Lesson 12 folder. Save. Let's click Render. And click OK to accept this video codec. Our rendering is nearly complete, and now the player launches. The cap moves and the tabletop turns. Let's close the player. Let's close the Render Output window as well. And let's close the Render Animation window as well. Let's take a look at some animation options. Click this icon. The Animation Options dialog window opens. Here we set duration in minutes or seconds, or click here to fit to the current animation time, which is 8 seconds in our case. Down below, we can specify a velocity profile, or we can use a default setting or a constant speed, and that's what I'll stick with. Let's check here to enable the playback interval. This defines how the slider responds to movement. Let's click OK to exit the Animation Options window now. And here we've got some VCR-style controls. Back to start, play animation in reverse, play animation, go to end. This next icon toggles a loop play of your animation, and the last red button records the animation or renders it. Let's click play. And our animation plays now. And this concludes our lesson on animating the camera.